this ready. All right. Do you want something to drink?
I have water.
You have a water?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to place it here?
Sure, I'll place it
You
too.
don't have to. You can place it by yourself.
I mean, I don't. Do you want
If
to
it's
give Kroger
easier
free
for
promo?
you. No, I don't even want to get Poppy free promo. But we're here. Hi, I'm Kyndal.
Hey, I'm Emmanuel.
And this is
It's
Not That Serious. Welcome back to the show.
Woo!
Woo!
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
It's so funny because you've been on Not That Serious. You've been on Conversations with Creatives.
Mhm.
And now you're on the new season of Not That Serious. Not a lot of people can say that.
You know, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be a part of whatever the class of individuals who can make that claim.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know, anything you ever want me to do, I'm always like, I'm there.
Okay,
and,
sir.
Yeah, it's really nice to be here. And we're going to talk about something that I love so much. And
Yes.
so I'm super excited.
We're going to get into it. I'm so excited. Before we do,
Mhm.
I'm changing this question of the week, which I should have warned you about.
Okay, that's fine.
But I do want to ask, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing well. Coming off the heels of celebrating a birthday. My birthday was last
Yes, it
week.
was. And we were there, except
Yeah.
I had to leave before the party got like the party of the century,
it
like
did get,
hot.
It did get pretty insane.
Which was crazy.
Yeah. and
Imagine
then-
my dismay.
Yeah, but I was super happy we were there. We had a really great time. Yeah, turned 26. Shout out to
Shout out 26.
getting old. It's an age that doesn't matter. But
No. Well, fine. I'll let you have that. I'll let you have that.
yeah,
There are worse ages, I think.
there's definitely worse ages than 26 for sure.
Yeah.
But I also think like to most people, it's a pretty inconsequential age. The only thing that like it really does for you is like let you know that when it comes to your 20s, you are now on the other half of it. You're closer to 30 than you are to 20.
That's the crazy part. But I honestly, in my unpopular opinion, is like, I can't wait till I am 30 years old.
Really?
Yes.
See, it's like mixed bag for me. I definitely like, I can't wait till I'm in my prime. And I don't think I'll be in my prime till my 30s. So to that
Really?
degree, like I agree. I'm like, I can't wait for like, I think my prime may start like 28, 29 at
That's
the
valid.
earliest.
That's
But
valid.
like, I definitely think my prime will go into like 33, 34, 35. And so I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
But I am not excited for being 30 because it's going to make things feel very real for me. And not to say that things don't feel real for me because they actually do. They feel far too real most of the time. But at the same time, I'm just going to be like, oh my God, I'm 30. It just sounds like just so official, you know?
Yeah, but that's the cool part about it. It's like so official.
Yeah.
Like
I
you're like,
guess.
I'm 30 now.
I also think I just like, the thing I don't like about 30 is like, the perception that like, why are you still making mistakes, even though everyone is? And so I'm not one who like holds myself much to the lens of perception often.
Yeah.
But I definitely do feel like when it comes to like age and like, not even just having yourself together, but just like, why are you still doing dumb things? Like when my homegirls are talking to me about like dating problems, right?
1,000%.
Yeah, something simple as just like getting played by a guy and like all the red flags were there. When my homegirls my age, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, we're talking about this, I'm just like, okay. But when my 31, 32, 33-year-old homegirls are saying the same stories that those other homegirls are, I'll be like, girl, but...
Not girl.
But why? You ain't... Why
You 30.
Why you ain't see the signs and then move accordingly? You 36. So
36.
yeah, I know that even I fall victim to just like feeling like, oh, 30 just makes everything so real. And like there's like to your point, there's a part of that that's appealing, but there's also a part of it that's a little daunting. And so I'm
That's
liking
valid.
where I'm at right now.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like a good little life update for everybody. I'll say this much.
Yeah, give them that ASMR.
I know, I have to.
That was a good one.
Y'all heard that one?
That was a nice
I'm putting this
snap.
straw, like it was a snap, crackle,
Yeah,
pop, bitch.
absolutely.
I'm putting this in because I wanted to get into the new question of the week. Question of the week, what is your sweet and sour of the week?
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
y'all
good.
like that? Y'all like
that's
that one?
really good. My sweet and sour of the week are probably the same. Just like the angle of them. So the sweet is that I've had a lot of job interviews this week.
That is a huge
Yeah,
sweet.
as I'm trying to look towards, procuring new employment. The sour is that like a lot of them were just really boof. And I hate group interviews, and all of them were group interviews.
Ew.
And they were all like preliminary first round, and then it's like, okay, for the next round, I'll be one-on-one, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But I still just hate group interviews. And then some of the companies were just like, I don't want to do this. Or like the first one I had one yesterday, and they work Monday through Saturday every week. Everyone. I was
What?
like, yeah, I was just sitting there like,
And this is normal?
this is
And
what
they're
they
not
do.
paying you 6 figures at the very minimum?
No, no,
Why
not
was
even
that
a,
loud?
that was like the hilarity of you to even ask such a thing. No, yeah,
Well, to ask you to work 6 days a week is some C-suite type shit, and I'm
absolutely.
not doing
And
that.
see, when he said Monday through Saturday, I had to like go in and ask a clarifying question of like, y'all are open Monday through Saturday, or everybody works Monday through Saturday? He was like, no, everyone works Monday through Saturday.
Oh, not me though. Y'all be easy.
So I was telling him, I was like, yeah, Saturdays just don't work. And the thing I've been using in job interviews is my church, and saying that I'm really involved in my church, which is true. It's not a lie,
But
it doesn't
also
make it that I can't work Saturday whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
It just makes it that sometimes it'll be difficult. And so I've just been like, I can't work Saturdays. And he was like, so what is that actually going to look like?
What do you mean? What is it going to look like? It means I'm not going to work Saturdays.
but
I just said that.
yeah, and then he was like, well, I'll talk to the branch manager and see if there's a workaround. And he was like, if there's some flexibility from you, then there could be some flexibility from us. And I was like,
What kind of flexibility? Because I
I'm
told you
presuming
no
the flexibility-
Saturdays.
Yeah, the flexibility they want is probably like some Saturdays. Like,
Well, no.
exactly. And so that amongst many things was just like, yeah, even if y'all do reach out, I'm just gonna end this process.
I'm gonna completely disregard.
So that's been the sour. It's just been like, oh man, the job market's so weird right now, which I think everybody's
so
abreast
bad.
of. Like, it's so bad because everybody's hiring, but nobody's hiring. It's just a lot of fake and faux hiring.
I was gonna say
going on.
I saw a TikTok from like a lady that works in like creative direction of some sort, and she was talking about how like a lot of these companies are doing fake. So y'all beware. A lot of these companies are making fake job listings as marketing efforts to like raise brand awareness for the brand. This is alleged, but I believe it.
Yeah, I could see it.
Because like they're never they don't get back to you. It's not like, and these brands, like people are like, I've seen the same listing for the same job over and over again for months.
Yeah.
And I keep applying to it and nothing.
Yeah. And that is really been the kicker. Like there are just jobs that are like perpetually hiring, and that's always existed, but mainly because they have high turnover and it's just a revolving door. But I'm seeing it to that point. A lot of the companies that I'm applying to, especially on these like job posting sites like Glassdoor, like LinkedIn, like Indeed. And it's just like this same job, these same descriptions, same operations have just been up perpetually for months.
It's just a nightmare.
And then if you get an interview, they talk about how urgent their hiring is, but it can't be that urgent when the same postings are up now.
Hello.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months straight.
Hello.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of fake hiring going on. I never thought about it from a marketing perspective as much as I just thought of it from like an economic perspective as a job. It's just really important a lot of time, especially when answering to like higher ups, to look like you're trying to fill your needs when you're not actually trying to fill your needs.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, yeah, put up the posting, but we're not actually going to hire anyone.
Which is so ghetto.
It is. It's really boof.
Get your money up instead of utilizing the hopes and dreams of America.
Yeah. Especially because they just know how bad the market is right now.
They know it, and they're part of the problem. Man, fuck y'all. I guess on a light note, I'm trying to think of like what my sweet was this week. I mean, it's only Tuesday. I guess the sweet is the show coming back.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was very sweet to see.
Is back.
It is, and that is very nice and cool. Very excited to see you guys again. Yes, my sour though. I mean, there's just there's a whole week to be had. So there is probably plenty of sour moments. I'm trying to think of even like the last week. I'll be honest. I mean, my sour, I have a hat on today because I'm hoping, I'm even like, let me pull my hair out. I'm hoping that y'all, like this nice ass camera, I'm really hoping it cannot pick up how fucked up my face looks, because I went to my esthetician literally hours ago. I think my appointment was for 12:30. It's now 7 something. And I'm just, I haven't had a facial in like months. And when you don't have a facial and she has to do all them damn extractions, I quite literally look like I had an allergic reaction to something. Like my face like swells up and shit. Like it's just part of the process. It takes a couple days of healing. I'm fine. But this is what I get for not doing my facials consistently. And I told her, I said, this will never happen again. Cause that shit, have you ever had extractions before?
No, I haven't.
Your skin is just flawless. So I understand.
First of all,
some of us are not as blessed, but no, it's beautiful. But like them shits hurt. Like they look fun. You know, have you seen those like extraction videos? I really enjoy them.
Okay.
Like I thoroughly enjoy those videos. And I look and I'm like, okay, that's so fun. When you get them done though, that shit hurt. Like, have you ever like squeezed a pimple before?
Yes, I have.
And it like hurts like hell.
It's one of the most painful things, actually.
It is quite literally that all over, even in places where you don't think you have like anything happening, because she can like tell under the skin. She even looked at my skin before she started doing anything. And she was like, oh my God, you're so congested, girl. I was like, fuck, this is going to hurt so bad. She had to take all of it out of my face. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all, today we're talking about rap beef.
Oh, man.
This is like a weird topic because it's not that serious. So we're going to get into it.
Absolutely.
But this was inspired. I texted Emmanuel months ago. Months ago. And this was at the peak. I'm trying to think like, had Meet the Grams come? Was that what it was?
I think, if I remember correctly, I can't
We have
remember.
Probably timestamp it. Yeah.
I can't remember, but I do believe Meet the Grams had came out by this
Okay.
point. No, Meet the Grams hadn't come out. You texted me May 2nd. All of 616 Family Matters, Meet the Grams, that whole day was May 3rd. So literally the next day was like the biggest day in rap beef history, arguably the wildest.
Oh my God, my mind.
You had that sixth sense. You just knew.
Crazy.
You knew.
Because I texted Emmanuel and I was like, I know this is going to be a topic that's trending for a while. I know Not That Serious is coming back in June. Let me just go ahead and book you right now. We're going to do an episode about this. I think it would be so fun. And Emmanuel was like, I'm down. Yeah. And I was like, not only are we going to talk about Kendrick and Drake, but I want to talk about rap beef as a whole. I want to talk about the other famous rap beefs. And this is for everybody that like, you know, doesn't know shit about rap beef and like isn't necessarily like intrigued to go do the research on their own. So you're just going to hear us shoot the shit about it because I don't know a lot of rap beefs. Right. I've even asked Emmanuel to prepare some for me to give the spark notes about certain things. So we're going to get into it. I don't even know. Should we start with Drake and Kendrick, or should we start somewhere that led us here? Because
man, there's so many areas we can go with it.
Yeah.
I think we can start Drake and Kendrick, but I think the best way to start Drake and Kendrick is to start Drake Pusha T.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'll tell you what I know.
Go ahead. Yep.
And then you fill in the blanks?
Absolutely.
I like this. Okay.
Let's go.
So what I do know is I actually don't know how this started. I actually think I know more about Drake and Meek Mill's beef, but I don't even know how that started. I just remember back to back. Okay. And I know all the words to back to back.
As you should. It's a super duper
It is
smash.
a very nice smash. But even going back and listening to it, I'm like, damn, Kendrick really like swept the floor with you on all these tracks. I digress. So what I know about Pusha T, I don't know much. What I do know about Pusha T is that he revealed that Drake had Adonis and also revealed that Drake did blackface. That's literally it.
Okay.
I was not on the timeline when that happened. Right. I knew who was responsible. Like I knew it was Pusha T.
Gotcha.
Like, I know now, but I didn't know who that was. I wasn't like familiar with his discography.
Right.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
I don't want any black people talking about you. You didn't know who Pusha T. Don't talk to me, please. Don't do this.
You're good.
Thank God.
Whoever in the comments is going to dare to say something probably does not know more about hip hop than I do.
Yeah, so
I'm not judging you. So if I'm more qualified than you and I'm not judging her, then you can't judge her. So we're clearing the space right now. It's judgment-free. Yeah,
exactly. Surf. This is a judgment-free zone. Okay, so fill in the blanks. What happened?
I will fill in the blanks. So, I think the best way to fill in the blanks is to give you really quick who Pusha T is, and being able to set the floor for why Pusha T Drake even happened, which is bedded in Pusha T Wayne, which is bedded in Pusha T Birdman. So many things just stretch so far back in history, because that's how not just rap beef works. That's just how rivalries work in the history.
Like sides.
Yes. So Pusha T is a rapper. He's from Norfolk, Virginia. He bursted onto the scene as a duo with his older brother, who at that time went by the name Malice. They went by the name The Clips.
Okay.
Even if you've never heard the name The Clips, you absolutely, if you're black, have felt their impact because everyone used to bang the beat to Grinding on the lunch table. And so Grinding was produced by Pharrell, who was a big producer for the Clips in their career. And it was one of their biggest songs.
Okay.
The Clips have two really huge, like critically acclaimed albums called Lord Willing and Hell Hath No Fury. And I'm only bringing those albums up because they lay a bed because of the fact that Drake was a huge Clips fan. Huge Clips fan.
Oh, wait, that's tea.
Yes, Drake was a huge Clips fan. This is not conjecture. This is recorded history. In fact, Drake has a tendency of getting into it with people that he used to admire and show a lot of love with. Same thing happened with Joe Budden. Same thing happened with Common. These are individuals who were able to go back into the archives, find interviews, find moments where he's literally talked about specific stories where he loved them and looked up to them. And then it ends up being rivalry later on for whatever reasons.
My mouth is agape for no reason. Let me shut my mouth. I'm going to attract flies.
Just to give you a bit of how much of a Pusha T fan Drake was, Drake actually ordered a microphone off of eBay that was proclaimed to be a mic that Pusha T performed with and then signed. He ordered it off eBay. It had the signature on him. It was a fake. Like the person just was finessing. And of course the signature eventually wore off with time or whatever. But this is a story that Drake himself told on some MTV programming a long time ago. Like it wasn't nothing hidden. And he was doing it again just to show how big of a Clips fan he was, how much respect he put on Pusha T as a rapper. So that's all important just to give a bit of credibility and history to Pusha T.
Yeah, what happened?
As a person. So eventually the Clips breaks up because Malice finds Jesus Christ and wants to dedicate his music and all of that to Jesus. And he turns his name from Malice to No Malice. And Pusha T is like... It's true. And Pusha T is like, bro, I love you. I love Jesus too. However, the world is going to continue to get these drug bars. Pusha T is one of the most upper echelon of drug rappers in the history of rap. When I say upper echelon, I'm saying that he raps, he's very lyrical. He paints a very lavish lifestyle as a dope boy and as a celebrity. And it's not necessarily about a glorification as much as it is just he finds a very he uses very colorful language and finds very colorful ways to talk about selling cocaine at the highest of levels. Virginia is not like a hotbed when it comes to music. There's only so many people who have come out of there. Not to say that they haven't had really big names, because they have, Chris Brown, Pharrell, Timbaland, yada, yada, yada.
Chris Brown's from Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
Timbaland's from Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell they put in the Virginia water? I didn't know that.
But with all that being said, the Clips are still a really big deal in Virginia. And so I only say that again to add further credibility to who Pusha T is for the person at home who's like, yeah, I never heard of Pusha T before that either.
My audience, I think they're white as well. So sorry, y'all. Yeah.
So yeah, that is what that is. So boom, let's fast forward. Pusha T and the Clips were cool with Lil Wayne and the Cash Money team. Like just they always were. They did a few records with each other. And then Birdman didn't want to properly compensate the Clips for a certain record that they did that Pharrell produced, if I remember correctly. That led to a rift. Now, the Clips and Pharrell were really big wearers of this clothing brand called Bape. Bape, yes. Bape is a really big clothing brand. They, if anyone's ever, like, if you see people with this, like, colorful camo, and it has, like, apes, like head as the logo, that's Bape. That's the best way I can describe it for anyone who's never.
If you're watching on YouTube, there will be a photo.
Yeah, we're still in the 2000s right now, right? So Bape is on the bubble and certain people are wearing it, but it's not super hot yet. And Lil Wayne starts rocking a lot of Bape. Now, different individuals have claimed credit for putting Lil Wayne onto Bape. Currency, who's a rapper from Louisiana, has said that Wayne fell in love with Bape, seeing him being decked out in Bape. Of course, the Clips and Pharrell feel like, you was rocking with us, you was super cool with us, then you started popping out with all this Bape. After we was wearing all this Bape, we responsible for putting you on a Bape. And Bape is just one, it's stupid, but
this is so unserious.
It's so unserious. Rap beef is always unserious. No matter, it can get serious, but it never starts from a serious place. It starts from the most ridiculous things you've ever heard.
That don't make no damn sense. All right.
Now, Bape is just an example, right? Or a microcosm, just the most like visual example of the issue that the Clips had, which they felt like Wayne and the whole Cash Money team kind of just like came and were leeches in a way from
utilizing
them
the
and their
name
movement.
and
It slid off when it was a time. So they make a song called Mr. Me Too. It's the Clips and Pharrell, and Mr. Me Too is basically in the hook. They're talking about like, oh, I'm getting money. Yeah, you Mr. Me Too. So essentially, they claiming all of the things that we're doing. We get money, we get into women, we get in the cars, we run this, that, and the third, whatever. Everything we do, here comes Mr. Me Too doing the same things, taking their shots at Wayne or whatever. That begins the genesis of a silent rift, if you will, between Pusha T and just the Cash Money camp in general. It didn't have a whole bunch of like diss tracks and back and forths or whatever. And it never led to no like real contentious situations, but there was just this underbelly
it's unsettling
of issue until sometime in the 2010s. I want to say 2012, but I could be wrong, where Pusha T drops a song called Exodus 23:1. Okay. On Exodus 23:1, Pusha T is rapping at Mr.
Capital R.
Michael Carter. He is coming at Lil Wayne and Baby, and in a way, everything that they're building at this time. Remember, Young Money is smoking hot right now.
Yeah.
Drake, Nicki, and Tyga are looking like the predecessors to the empire that Wayne has built with Cash Money. And so, yeah, in Exodus 23:1, he's just coming at them in a lot of different ways. He talks about how their money's bad over there. The notorious, you signed to one nigga who signed to another nigga who signed to three niggas. Now that's bad luck, which was essentially him calling out, the bad business dealings and how the money is not as long over there for Drake and Wayne as they claim, because there's so many different people in their pockets, like Baby, like Slim, like, the big label heads, et cetera, et cetera. That did lead to responses from Wayne, but never like a direct diss track, as much as he just like all over like different mixtapes and I think also on the Carter 4, like just had little sprinklings of like bars back at
It
Pusha
never
T.
really led
but it
to...
never led to full-blood beef.
Now I must ask, and I don't know if you were online at the time, but was that something that people were looking forward to? Like they were like, we need a diss track.
Yes and no. The blog era is huge at this time. And so absolutely everything that's being done is having someone whose job is literally to give a dang near dissertation on it and try to build this hype. And so we absolutely, as hip hop fans, wanted to see a proper 1v1 when it came to Wayne and Pusha T, simply because they're two pens that we respect.
Sure.
And almost never will you have a rapper, a fan of rap who's going to be like, I don't want to see two barsmiths go at it. As long as they're willing to keep it on wax and not get to anything real and serious, most people are always going to be for a beef or a rivalry, even if it's between people that they're fans of, because we just want to see the best go at it lyrically.
Noted.
With that being said, Wayne is one of those people who throughout his career has, while being in beefs, rarely ever fully embraced beef to the point of dropping a full-blown diss track. He'll have bars at people in different songs. And those bars are like, okay, yeah, he's clearly going at Jay-Z here. Jay-Z, somebody who had it out with. He's clearly going at Birdman here when he had his falling out with him. He's clearly going at these different individuals throughout his career. But as far as getting on wax and it being like, this song can be attributed as a fill-in-the-blank diss track, Lil Wayne's just never really like done that often. Now, he doesn't get the claim that a lot of people tried to throw at Kendrick before this beef of not being battle tested, because the style that Wayne raps in, being so punchline heavy, so wordplay heavy, as well as the fact that he has had these little jab being back and forths with so many different individuals throughout his career, makes people still respect him and feel like he is battle tested. But when it comes to like beefing to the scale and level of a Drake Pusha T, of a Drake Meek Mill, of a Drake Kendrick, Wayne has, wow.
Do y'all see the common denominator? That nigga loves to get, like, he is messy.
Well, we're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get into that.
Being messy is a cornerstone in this
in rap history, I guess.
Yeah, truly, actually. And so I say that to say Exodus 23:1 comes, it's hot, we all love it. Wayne does, send shots back, yada, yada, yada. But it never feels like, oh my God, this bubbled all the way over. Fast forward. All of that was just setting the table for Drake Pusha T. So I'm sorry that it was so much, but again,
we need the context.
Yeah,
this is tea. I'm talking like, this is real tea. Holy shit.
This is how it goes down.
Okay.
Drake, Pusha T drops an album, Daytona, one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the 2010s.
Wow.
Was Grammy nominated for Best Rap Album. super duper great album. This was during the time where Kanye West was executive producing everyone in Good Music's albums and making them all be 7 tracks. So we got the Kanye West Ye album, we got that Keep That Same Energy from Tiana Taylor, we got Designer's Life of Designer project, we
Oh,
got
wow.
Daytona from Pusha T, we got Kids See Ghosts with Kanye and Kid
Uh-huh.
Cudi. All of this was in that time frame.
Wow.
Daytona hits the streets crazy. Everyone loves it. They're talking about how it's an album of the year contender, if not album of the year. One of the songs, I believe the second to last song on Daytona, is called Infrared. Infrared has many bars going directly at Drake. And he's coming at Drake as a writer, all right? Coming at the validity of the fact that he uses ghostwriters, which is already at this point now super duper public knowledge because of the Drake and Meek Mill beef. He's coming at Drake as a person, a fixture within this culture. And he's coming at the money as well, again, And all of these things have led us to, now we're looking back at Exodus 23:1, we're looking back at Mr. Me Too, we're looking back at all the history, and we're like, are we gonna properly and finally get this Pusha T versus the Cash Money conglomerate beef that we've been thirsting for on an official level for so long? Because Drake has already established at this point in his career that if you come at him and you have some level of validity, that he will come back. Drake has more beefs than most people even know. Truly. Most people don't know that Drake and Joe Budden had a proper beef. I'm not talking about
the Instagram back and forth is what I remember.
Yeah, no, they had songs at each other.
Oh.
4 p.m. in Calabasas has so many bars that are direct shots at Joe Budden. So Joe Budden came back with all types of diss tracks at Drake. Then Drake did a feature, I think, on a French Montana song that had a lot of shots at. But and all of this is able to happen because of something that's really been brought to the surface, which is that Drake takes shots for you. You as the person, as the individual, you know that this is about you, your team and your camp. People in the industry may know it's about you, but to the consumer, we're just listening. We're just, ooh, right? And so even a line, right, as simple as in sicko mode, checks over stripes, that's what I like. We're all singing. It's just like, oh yeah, because he signed with Nike. But that's a Kanye West diss because him and Kanye
It was
at the time.
Adidas.
Kanye's Adidas. He's got the Nike deal, right? He does these little things and a lot of them,
he's so irritating. I know that pisses people off, bro.
It does, especially because, and Joe Budden spoke about this when they were having their beef, because while they were having their beef is when Joe Budden's entering the podcasting space full throttle. And Joe Budden was talking about the fact that Drake sets it up for you to look crazy because he's doing these things that you know are about you.
They're
and they're
so
small enough
tiny.
so that it looks like you're thirsty, you're hating.
You're a problem.
If you jump out the window and respond.
And just try to defend yourself.
Exactly.
Man, Drake, when I catch you, Drake. When I catch you, Drake. When I catch you, Drake. That is so nasty. Man, the messiest person you know is Drake. It's Drake. I'm sorry.
So.
Whoa. Okay.
Infrared drops. Boom. Maybe 2-3 days later, Drake did not give a lot of light buffer time. On SoundCloud, he drops a response. It's called Duppy Freestyle. In Duppy Freestyle, he's coming back at Pusha T. Some of the angles he takes is, number one, you talk all this big drug talk, but really you was like barely selling coke. It was.
How does he know?
He says that your brother said it was your cousin, then him, then you. So you don't rap what you know, you just rap what they do, or something to that degree. So he's basically saying you did sell drugs, but you talk all this Tony Soprano big guy talk like he was the biggest drug dealer in Virginia, when in reality it was your cousin who was doing the big work, your brother who was doing, the medium size, and they probably let you,
Yeah, you got the family business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you not really like that to that degree. He comes at Pusha T's money. He comes at Pusha T, the credibility of him being a hater. He talks about the fact that you're talking about, me not writing and me not being a writer, but your boss, your big homie, Kanye West, I'm writing for him. I got credits all over his last album. I got ghost songs that I wrote for that dude all over his last album. So how in the world are you going to try to come for my pen and come for the validity of me as a writer when I'm writing for your big homie? I'm writing for your boss. I'm writing for the guy that put you in this position, et cetera, et cetera.
Yikes.
And all of these different things, right? He's coming at him from all these different angles. It's a really good diss track. But the line that took things to the place that they went, where Pusha T goes to that degree, is Drake says in W Freestyle, keep talking and I'ma let it ring like Virginia Williams. Now, Virginia Williams is Pusha T's wife. And so the let it ring, of course, is an entendre for let it ring, referring to shots, but Let It Ring, because Pusha T had just gotten married fairly recently to Virginia Williams at this time. Now, Pusha T has said post, the diss tracks and post the beef ending and all of that stuff, that he was going to keep it rap and rap subjects. But once Drake said that line, it made him take a step back. One, now the gloves are off because you've mentioned my wife's name. I'm allowed to go to whatever lengths and limits that I choose. But also, two, he thought to himself, why would a man even say a line like that? What is it about your view of marriage, right, that is so skewed that you would try to use that almost as a shot?
As a shot, like,
So that's when Pusha T starts putting on the thinking cap, if you will. And he's like, let me evaluate your life and your upbringing. And so he's looking at it like, oh, of course you got this, hostility towards marriage. Your parents never got married and your dad left and your mother's been alone since then and this, that, and the third and yada, yada, yada. And then all of that, right? That angle and the psychology of that was what Pusha T was mainly going to attack. But then Pusha T is getting calls from people in Virginia that the OVO camp is trying to get dirt on Pusha T. They're putting out basically a hit. They're like, oh yeah, we got this much money for anybody who got any type of disparaging, anything, stories, angles, this, that, and the third. Something about him getting robbed or this or that, or maybe snitching, anything you could give up. And they trying to go to the soil, to his hometown, to try and get real information. This is what Pusha T's claim is.
This is T.
So then Pusha T is like, oh, well, you want to take it there. Mind you, they didn't get any real dirt, is what Pusha T's claim is. And so then Pusha T is like, well, let's see what skeletons are in your closet. Because if you search and trying to find them in mine, that means I know how you operate. I know that you have your own. And that is when the information of Adonis's existence comes to Pusha T's desk.
I just got chills.
Now, Drake and Pusha T claim that how Pusha T found out about Adonis, they have two different perspectives on it.
All right, let's hear him.
Drake believes that when Drake was helping Kanye West work on his album in Wyoming, he literally showed him pictures of Adonis and was telling him about the Adidas campaign that he was going to have in reference to his son called Adidon. That he just had this son. They took this trip. The whole team took this trip out there to see the baby after it was born, showered him with gifts, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. He's telling all this to Kanye. Then he thinks Kanye goes back, tells Pusha T, bam, Pusha T puts it on wax. Well, Pusha T's claim is that Drake's right-hand man and longtime producer, OVO 40, Oliver Shabib, has a woman that he pillow talks with, is involved with romantically. He spends hours on the phone every day with her, talking to her about all matter of things, including, of course, a major part of his life is Drake's personal life, because he's Drake's number one producer, close friends, all of these different things.
Right.
That woman then brought that information back to Pusha T and his team and his camp. Regardless of whose side
spilled the beans,
of side of things people choose to believe, however it happened.
The
information hits Pusha T's desk. Along with that information is also the information that 40 is, suffering with, I believe it's MS, on multiple sclerosis.
Oh no.
And sick, and that Drake is overworking him despite the fact that he knows that he's, dealing with this disease.
Oh no.
As well as the picture, the blackface picture of Drake.
Who found that shit?
All of these things hit Pusha T's desk, and suddenly it's the perfect storm to have the character assassination of Drake. And he has the right to go there because Drake referenced his wife's name. Along comes the story of Adidon, where our cover picture is Drake in blackface, where he's psychologically breaking down Drake's whole family structure, the fact that he has his baby mama who was a porn star and all of these things, and that none of that type of content and stuff can be found on her Instagram page now.
Whoa.
All of these things. And of course, the reveal, the famous line, "You are hiding a child." That hits the bubble. We all lose our minds.
Yeah.
Is Drake hiding a kid? Is it true? Drake himself, I don't believe initially said anything, but his camp, the OVO camp, kind of immediately is coming out trying to pour invalidity on the claim that Drake's hiding a child. But they are specific in a lot of the postings, the tweets and story postings of that nature to focus on this word hiding. and not just does Drake
the
have a
fact
child
that
or not.
yeah.
And that is because Drake did have a child that the world did not know about. Now, many people have talked about the fact that like celebrities are allowed to have private lives, especially when it comes to things as innocent as their children. There are
But
plenty of other rappers who had kids and like didn't, announce it to the world, like Kendrick, like J. Cole, et cetera, et cetera. Why is it such a big deal with Drake?
you knew of them.
You knew of them. A lot of people's reasoning behind it being with Drake is with Drake hiding Adonis at that up until that point were two things. One, you're looking at people who are in general as celebrities who have more private lives and have tended to keep their private lives private, also keeping their children a part of their private life private. Versus Drake, who keeps almost no aspects of his private life private.
He is so loud.
But this aspect is hidden. And then the argument that a lot of people have made is that it's because of the woman that he had Adonis with, because, Sophie did have that past as a sex worker, is known as an industry pass around. And everyone's kind of argument was, dang well, if he was having this baby with Rihanna, it would have been on billboards. But because he had it with this woman, nobody knows about him until, of course,
it had to have been brought to light.
Exactly.
Now I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Because this is something that came up a lot with the Kendrick and Drake beef too, that women somehow end up being the punchline for a lot of these beefs. How many of these beefs that you can even think of in your head involve women?
In ridiculous amount. A ridiculous amount.
Why? Why? Like, why am I in it? You know what I mean?
There's a million different reasons. I think for one, it's easy to try to attack the masculinity or the bravado of a man with his woman, because most men's Achilles heel is their woman, whether it's simply in the fact of who she is, right? Who you chose to settle down and fall in love with, start a family with, whatever the case may be. Or if it's just even in the regard of how you treat her, right? We saw that with Drake, with the things that he tried to lobby against Kendrick. He can't really do anything, come for Whitney's character as a person. So I'm going to come for your character and how you treat her and what your relationship actually looks like behind closed doors, all these different things. I just think throughout history, for most men, a man's Achilles heel, a man's sensitive point and vulnerability point has been his woman. That's one reason. I think another reason is sexism and misogyny.
1,000%. But
especially within hip hop, the women that you tote around are a part of the notches on your belt. To use a vastly inappropriate and incorrect word, but definitely true to the psychology of it to some aspect, they are your possession. In a sense of
that's how it's viewed.
That's how it's viewed, and therefore that makes it a point to attack.
Which is so annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Like, and then, it's so irritating. Like, talk about something else. Like, I really want to hear y'all talk about how the other person's breath stink. Like, can we do anything? Like, to me personally, I would much rather, I will respect you 10 times harder as a rapper if you can avoid other people in your diss to that person.
Yeah. And that's a great point, because I think it's seldom that we've seen in major rap beefs, even if it's one-on-one in the sense of these rappers are the only ones rapping at each other, they're not the only important figures and factors.
Yeah, there's so much.
Every beef that we're going to talk about today, there are going to be other people who are major important players and factors. And some of those people are individuals who have nothing to do with hip-hop music. We'll see that with, if we talk about Jay-Z and Nas.
Misogyny wins again.
Misogyny wins again, unfortunately.
That's so, okay. Pusha T and that will bleed us into Drake and Kendrick. Okay. I want to know about your personal favorite rap beef.
Okay. Personal favorite rap beef. If I remove Drake and Kendrick from being a contender, simply because I experienced that more in real time.
I experienced that in real time.
And as an adult, fully, freely able to everything right there on my fingertips. So if I remove that from contention, it has to be Jay and Nas.
Most of y'all know about Kendrick and Drake, so we won't go into a timeline. In fact, I actually would rather have a conversation with you very quickly about this, because I want to know your true thoughts on everything that happened. But do you think J. Cole knew what was about to happen? Or do you think he genuinely was look, I'm sorry, I meant no disrespect, It's
a mixed bag. I believe it's 50-50, maybe even 60-40. There are reports that Schoolboy Q, who is signed to TDE, close personal friends with Kendrick Lamar, told J. Cole,
Oh, get the fuck out. Yeah.
get out. That cute shit you did on 7 Minute Drill, that's not what's happening. He's about to punch heads off, and he'll punch your head off. I didn't watch the interview that the claim is made that Schoolboy Q said that he did talk with J. Cole in, but I haven't seen Schoolboy Q come out and say that that's not true. And Schoolboy Q is someone who I personally, not just because I'm a fan, but also just because he has a lot of credibility. Like,
why would he lie?
Exactly. So that's kind of on record.
Well, you heard it here first.
With that being said,
you definitely
the irony is that depending on who the viewer is, they really did.
They literally, first. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I heard it here first. You heard it here first.
And who's Schoolboy Q?
And we're literally, it's like Schoolboy Q 2 on.
Yes.
Isn't he on 2 on?
Yes, he is on 2
on by Tinashe. Yeah. That is probably people's only. Somebody.
He's the guy on 2 on.
He's the guy on 2 on by Tinashe.
Especially because he has songs that are like bigger than 2 on.
Yeah, so
I'm
sure.
Just simply the fact that like that is literally going to be some people's entryway. Like,
well, this is not that serious. So
it is not
sorry.
That serious. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
That's canon. That's within the timeline. I also think that J. Cole really did have a sense of regret.
I think so too. I
believe particularly about the discourse that he felt like he created. That J. Cole's response in 7 Minute Drill. I
never even listened to that.
I did. And it's not, I listened to everything. I did. Me. It wasn't bad. It's good rapping. It's a bunch of stuff that we know that J. Cole doesn't believe. Like, he's just running with the like commonplace narratives that can kind of be used to come at Kendrick. But we know that he specifically doesn't believe them. So saying things like, his first album was great, it was a classic. His next album was actually boring, but they gassed it, which is To Pimp a Butterfly he's referring to.
That's actually wildly disrespectful.
Absolutely. Your last album was whack, which Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. All of these are like angles and claims that J. Cole's making that we know that J. Cole doesn't believe.
Like, you don't even believe
J. Cole does not believe with a single molecule in his body that Kendrick Lamar has even one whack album. And he definitely does not think To Pimp a Butterfly was boring.
Why would he of all people think that?
We know that. But
we know this.
You know what I mean? He felt like he had to respond. And so, you know, he's laying his claim and he's responding. And I think he saw the discourse. He saw people really like putting smut onto Pimp a Butterfly's name, really saying that Damn was overrated, really saying Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was weak, really like trying to say that Kendrick Lamar has one great album in his discography. And he just could not live with the fact that people were using his words to validate such a fallacious argument. I truly do believe that regret did exist for J. Cole. And I do believe that J. Cole didn't want to say anything in the first place, but he let the outside noise get in and make him feel like he had to, especially because on his feature run and on, you know, freestyles and things of that nature over the past 2-3 years, J. Cole has been laying the claim, I'm the best rapper in this shit. I'm just hitting my prime. I'm rapping head and shoulders above all of these guys. And now when Kendrick comes with like that, a verse that not only is shaking up the culture, but that is a hot verse.
No, so good.
You can't sit there and sit on your hands and be like, oh, that's my broski, so we can't. And he took the shot at you. Niggas was like, you got to shoot back. And he did. And then he instantly regretted it.
Mm-hmm.
And he did something that I think he knew at the time when he was like, I couldn't just imagine in my brain that he's in the back with Mike and with Ebe and with the whole Dreamville team. And he's like, I'm about to go out there and apologize.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to crucify me for it.
Oh, yeah.
And when the dust settles, they'll be like, oh, the smartest
he was
man
right.
who ever lived.
Yeah. He just got to suck it up for like a couple days.
He just has to deal with maybe for a week or two being viewed as a sucker.
Bitch, yeah.
He went out there, he did his apology.
Yep.
And he chinned all of the backlash. And he even did the smart thing telling Kendrick, I mean, my chin is out there, take your shot. Because if at that point, which I do believe he had already had his talk with Q, he knew that Kendrick wouldn't do that. Kendrick was ready to really beat some up. And he's not going to do that to the dude who
was asking for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in comes talking to Drake. And I know a little bit of background about this beef. So I'll just say this.
Mm-hmm.
I am so grateful that I was awake that night. I was awake the night that Meet the Grahams dropped. And
Man.
I don't know how many people can say that. I was up.
I was literally at a music event. I was at someone's like listening party, and I saw that Drake dropped Family Matters. I left out of it, got
Came
my
back.
headphones, listened to it, came back, was telling my cousin about it because he didn't come listen to it with me. I was like, yeah, it's hot. Is it? And Meet the Grams dropped while I was talking to my cousin. We literally went out into the car, listened to it. We never even went back into the function. We just left and went to Waffle House.
That's how it felt.
That's how iconic it was.
That's how it felt because because I think I was with my boyfriend. We listened to Drake's track. I have not listened to it again since I listened to it the first time. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then, like, it was just crazy because it was like, babe, Drake dropped again. I was like, oh, again, that's crazy. Okay, cool. Like, let's listen. This is kind of fun. Like, we're up.
Yeah.
We were watching Grownish at the time. Okay, so we're binging Grownish.
Okay.
This is the audience you're talking to.
Yes, absolutely. They're
binging,
like something I know.
yes, yeah. We're binging Grownish. We did not make it through the full episode of Grownish that we were watching that we paused to listen to Drake's track. The episode was 3 minutes from finishing. I'm on Twitter and I said, babe, Kendrick just dropped. I think Kendrick just dropped. And he was like, no way. I was like, yes, we have to listen to it now. And we were pacing. Like, we literally like got up. And we were pacing. Mm-hmm. I could not believe it. I literally knew in that moment, I said, I'm living through hip hop history.
You are.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's that weekend is not just one of the best weekends of my year. It is one of the best weekends of my
your whole life.
Do you understand me? Of my life. I love rap beef. I truly do.
Okay.
If there was a rap beef happening at all time, I might not be depressed. I love rap
okay.
beef.
Well, I had a rapid fire question for you then.
Let's go.
He set up rapid fire. I want to know if you could pick any two artists to have rap beef and go back and forth, who are you genuinely wishing for? And this could be like outlandish of like people that you're like, they would never beef with each other, but like, who would you love to see go back and forth at it?
My brain is like overloading with just like names and faces are just dropping into a generator. Like,
guess who?
Oh man. There really are so many potential options. I would love man.
I know. Sorry.
I really would love to see Wale get into a proper rap beef. I'm a very big Wale fan.
Wow. Okay, that's not something I was expecting.
Yeah, I think Wale's pen is really underrated. I think his artistry and his musicianship is really underrated. And I think he can out-rap a lot of rappers. Who on the other side of that has to be someone who's perceived as a greater rapper than him. So whether that's
Drake, take your shot.
Drake, whether that's Kendrick, whether that's Cole, whether that's Big Sean.
I love Big Sean. Can I just say that here and now?
Okay. There was a time. There was a time where my answer to that was gonna be, I want Kendrick and Big Sean to have their proper beef. Because
do they have like unsettled beef?
It's squashed now. Big Sean has said that like him and Kendrick have spoke personally and it's all dead. But for a very long span of time, Big Sean would throw shots at Kendrick.
Why would he do that? I didn't know this. I did not know that.
No way. I think Big Sean's a really great rapper.
I think he is. I think he's great.
I think Big Sean's a really great rapper. And I rock with Big Sean. I think that Big Sean has always felt like he is in the same exact class and caliber of Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. I think that he feels like if it's up to Big Sean, it should have never been a big three. It's a Fantastic Four, a top four, if you will. And I truly believe he feels that hit making, rapping, marketability, discography, he's in the exact same class as them.
Which
I think that there are certain elements where that argument is compelling.
I would agree.
Particularly just the rapping ability. I think Big Sean has a really good rapping ability. Does he have some corny punchlines? Absolutely. But he has really great rapping ability. I think most people's biggest knock against Big Sean when that conversation starts to happen is the discography. That his discography his body of works, as far as just the albums he's put out, does not measure up to Kendrick Cole's and Drake's.
Out of what, like notoriety, or is it like the actual like
just
music?
Just how good the music is, how good the projects are.
Interesting.
And I think also longevity and replayability of
that
his
makes
projects.
sense.
I think a lot of people feel like post a year and a half, 2 years out, you don't do much revisiting or living with Big Sean albums outside of Dark Sky Paradise. That's the argument a lot of people make.
And that's exactly what I was thinking of too. I was like, I'm actually gonna just stop you right there. I always listen to Bounce Back.
Absolutely. Dark Sky Paradise has that. And a lot of people would make the argument that J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake all have multiple albums
that would do that.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. All right.
Not you concede.
I give it that. That's fine.
Now, with that being said, that's my perspective.
Like your like dream scenario.
I think that Big Sean would take the shots at Kendrick because he just felt like I should be in that same
like let me at him.
Exactly.
Right.
And also because like I don't think, not only do I think I'm as good as him, I probably think I'm legitimately better than him because I think y'all gassed this guy. And a lot of the shots and angles that he would take would be about Kendrick being overrated. He, would take shots about like guys like padding their albums with skits to make them seem like they're deeper than they are or better than they are, rapping super fast and with crazy vocal inflection when they're really not saying nothing. Things of this nature that
clearly
are. Yeah. And Kendrick never really came back at Big Sean, but when he dropped the Heart Part 4 and was like, say his name and I promise that you'll see Candyman and don't tell lies about me, I won't tell the truth about you. A lot of people felt like those bars were for two men out there, Drake and Big Sean. Big Sean eventually got more mature and from a personal angle just was like, oh, that's childish. Had talks with Kendrick Lamar and all that was in the past.
Good for him. Got out of that.
Right. Yeah. Great for him. What ended up happening with Drake and Kendrick, we all saw it. We all lived it.
Man, and Drake is never coming back from that.
You think?
I think that...
And when you say never coming back, break down what you mean. Yeah.
I genuinely think that it was at one point, it was cool to clown on Drake.
Mm-hmm.
It's never not been cool to clown on Drake, I think. But there became a point where it was like, I guess we should let up off this nigga, huh? Like he's kind of making one dance. He's making us...
I would agree.
What is it? Keep making me dance, waving my hands. There won't be no problems. Like that to me is like, okay. I think... with this beef, it just re-solidified like, yeah, that is a corny ass, lame ass nigga. Like, we must clown him. It's time to bring that back. To me, I feel like he's never coming back from like re-cementing himself as like him. I feel like his prime was 2016. And I don't necessarily know if Drake is going to make some massive hit that's going to oversee like, What a Time to Be Alive. The one with the 6, I can't even, Views. If you're reading this, it's too late. Views, like, is never, even like More Life was like a stretch. But like that would, like those albums, those were his prime. And I think I have jurisdiction to speak on this because I was a huge Drake fan. Is definitely
the operative word.
The operative word was. And that was why. Those albums like quite literally did it for me. Like honestly, I was more hurt to know that like Drake and Future would never reunite again. And like I never listened to Drake and 21's like joint album because I was genuinely offended that it wasn't Future again. So that's how I'm not even fucking giving this attention. What happened to What a Time to Be Alive Part 2?
I definitely for years wanted to be What a Time to. Like when What a Time to Be Alive came out, quite literally like it described how I felt about the album. I was like, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Me and my homies lived to that album. Like,
it was a good one.
Life to that album. That was my senior year of high school and literally oh man.
I mean, I'm sorry. I still listen to that shit. I'll pop it in the gym. I'll pop it in the gym.
I'm sure it's great for the gym, actually.
It is an amazing gym.
Yeah,
it is an amazing gym
album.
I never
thought about that.
I mean, it is work. And I feel like, to me, Drake's just not coming back. Like, to me, Drake is always going to be a clown. The camera cut me off in the middle of my sentence, which tells me that it is near our time to wrap it up. But I will say, last question.
Go ahead.
Well, any last standing thoughts on Drake, Kendrick, and yeah.
Let me just, even though it's clear, let me be clear. Kendrick won.
1,000%.
Not up for debate. The biggest, unless you are Maul from New Rory and Maul, which is a podcast that exists, or Adonis, like everyone else on earth thinks Drake lost, like, including Drake. Drake knows Drake lost. He's not going to ever admit it. He can't come out. It goes against everything that is Drake, right? That is the character that is Drake. But he knows the core of him. Aubrey Graham, the human being, the man knows that he lost his beef, and that's fine.
And that's fine.
He took the L. Any and all people who are like in defense of or saying that they believe Drake won are literally delusional, in denial, or just do not have the cachet to even converse about
even
this.
talk about this.
And to your point about, that group of white ladies, rest in peace ASAP Yams, because ASAP Yams tweeted out one of the greatest quotes ever. And I'm going to like misquote him. So I'm just going to say that the essence of what he was saying was, stop letting white people talk about hip hop.
Absolutely.
It's very true. A lot of times, I just feel like a lot of times when you are an outside looking in kind of figure to a thing, particularly when it's something that's ingrained in the minutia of a culture, you
Shut
can
the fuck
consume,
up.
but don't converse.
No,
and
absolutely
definitely
not.
don't do too much criticizing. Now, that's not to say that you can't have an opinion.
No, you can.
You can form an opinion. When you form an opinion, you need to know if you are forming an informed opinion. And there's a lot of people forming uninformed opinions, and then they have platforms a la podcast, a la content creation, and then they, with an uninformed formed opinion, speak that formed opinion out as if it's an informed opinion, which then either propagates, one, that they know what they're talking about and are disparate from what the narrative is, or it shows the people that know what they're talking about that you don't know what you're talking about. And that ends up just being egg on your face. Why ruin your own credibility?
Yeah.
So when you're the group of white girls, right, who want to talk about the hot thing that's going on, and you want to say that you think Drake won, your team Drake's up 4-0, you should also add the caveat, we don't know shit about hip hop.
Last little question to kind of like sign us out of here. What do you think is a beef that's brewing and like waiting to come to head? Like, what do you think we can see in the next couple years?
Well, I just found out about the Cardi B Bia beef.
Oh, that was a good little.
Yeah, that was nice. The only reason why I would say that has some brew potential is because there is still the chance that Bia officially releases the diss track that she played on live, or even like comes back with a different one. And I could see that if it's a really good diss track, Cardi responding, and so then it could really get to boom, like, because I know that type of level, but it's also still already kind of in the playing field. And so I don't know if I would count that as brewing. Right now, for one, I think a lot of the men in hip hop are, for lack of better terms, how do I say this? They're playing buddy out of fear.
Because they probably have some fucking skeletons in their closet.
Beef has changed. Don't get me wrong, exposing's always been a part of beef. But to this level and this degree, and this is something that Pusha T really took to the mainstream, finding the deepest, darkest skeleton in your closet and putting it in a rap song.
It's bad.
It's bad. It's bad, right? I mean, again, exposing's always been a part, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Ice Cube, in No Vaseline, making the point. I wrote almost all the raps where that was not really readily and accessible knowledge up until that point when he's going at NWA, right? Tupac telling Biggie, I fucked your wife, whether that's true or not. Exposing,
something's
right?
there,
50 and 50 saying that Ja Rule, you know what I mean, is plays with guys, right? These things, whether they're true or not, exposing's always been a part of the nature, but doing this, digging for dirt and finding out the wildest, most salacious thing about you.
It's dangerous now,
dangerous.
too.
It's a new game, and all of these guys got
something.
Man, they got something. They got secret kids. They got domestic violence. They've got sexual assaults. They got people in their camp that are weirdos.
Yeah, 1,000%. That they're employing.
Exactly. All of these different things that are making beefs a little more dangerous. Now, don't get me wrong. Beef's been dangerous. People have died because of rap beef. I'm not saying that. But I think a lot of these dudes would rather get shot at than have certain things that they've done or, been a part of, out in the public eye. And so I think a lot of the men are playing really buddy, really safe right now.
The women aren't, though.
The women aren't. The women The women aren't. And I'm going to say one that I think is brewing proper. I think Flo Milli is going to have a proper beef with someone.
Who?
Not necessarily because I think that Flo Milli is egging for beef. Flo Milli, I think, is actually like one
I
of
love
the
Flo
nicest,
Milli,
sweetest
yeah.
girls. She's such an amazing rapper. But I think that this individual is going to see her proximity to someone that they already don't like and is going to try to, if they do, have a proper response, is going to try to kind of do a like coming at you and your girlies kind of thing.
Is this who I think it is?
It might be.
Is this someone that has a husband that is a questionable figure? Oh.
Now, her is possible, but I'm thinking about her little minion. I'm thinking I could see Flo Milli v Ice Spice happening.
Oh, Ice Spice can't hold a candle.
No, lyrically she can't.
I'm so sorry. Like, that would be just pitiful to see.
It would be pitiful to see. She would beat up on her. Lyrically she can, but she also had no business really trying to come for like go do it with Lotto, and she did. And also that song's so weird because it's like, why in the world does the diss think you the shit? You're not even the fart. And why did people?
That's towards Lotto.
Yeah. And she's like said it like confirmed. It's like, yeah, that song's about Lotto.
Why? What did Lotto do? Man, don't piss me off. I like Lotto. I like all them girls. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm a big Megan Thee Stallion fan. And let it be known, any tongue that rises against Megan Thee Stallion will not prosper. It's been proven. It's biblical.
It has been proven.
It has been proven.
You might not want to mess with her. Now, to speak to the woman that you were just referring to.
Yeah, that lady who shall not be named.
Yeah, I don't know if she would come at Flo particularly, but I do think there's very clear lines when it comes to you're either under the Nicki umbrella or under the Cardi umbrella. And you're either cool with that camp or cool with this camp. But a lot of the top rap girlies are cool with
under
the Cardi camp.
yeah.
And I do see the potential for Nicki to come on wax a Glorilla, or come at someone other than Megan and Cardi, who she's already had beef with.
Tried to come at.
Yeah, and she had that little spat with Lotto, but I could see it being something a lot more proper with proper diss tracks with Lotto potentially. But someone underneath that umbrella, whether it be Lotto, whether it be Flo, whether it be Glorilla, someone who's really cool with that side. And it even could be someone who maybe we don't, because every single time a new female rapper enters the fold of the main,
she tries to get in and then she's a hater.
It's
yeah.
literally the way that they have set it up is you're under one tree or you're under the other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to see if Sexy Red's going to be able to break that, because she's already done her collabs with Nicki and kind of fallen under the Nicki tree. I'm willing to see if she's able to, branch and cross and be able to have a real deal business relationship with someone from that side.
I'm going to go on a limb and say I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
And but she's cool with Drake, which to me cements you further.
That's also true, because we also know that Meg don't have
anything
love
to
for
do with Drake.
Yeah, it's two houses. They're literally, female rap game is House of the Dragon. It's literally like,
isn't that cool?
Team Green and Team Black. And I could see anyone who hasn't had proper fisticuffs lyrically with Nicki potentially within the next year or so
having that
moment. Yeah. And I would love
to see it.
I would particularly love to see it with Flo, because I think Flo rap circles around almost everybody right now. She's a phenomenal MC. She's really good. So good at rapping. She has
her own distinct sound.
She has her own sound.
Nobody's just seeing her.
Not only does she have her own sound, but even sonically, she's in her own lane. When you listen to the beat selection and things of that nature that she has, it's very vastly different from other women in the game. And technically speaking, particularly when it comes to things like flow, when it comes to wordplay, when it comes to entendres, Flo Milli is super clever. She's an amazing rapper. She is a master of the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
She never found a beat she could not ride. And I'd love to see her get in the ring with somebody, because I think it's a very small list. I think I'm taking Flo Milli against most people. There are people who can rap with her,
mm-hmm.
but it's a like toss up.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the rest of the game is below her, in my opinion. I would also love to see, and actually this could happen too, I'd love to see Mauna Leo have a rap beef. I do want to say, yeah, I want to see Mauna Leo have a rap beef with Nicki. I do.
Well,
I actually want to see that.
well, I want to see her and Megan hop on the track together.
I want to see that too. Yeah. That'll have Texas going crazy.
And drop. Well, thank you for educating my audience today.
You know,
something slight.
What else am I for? You know.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me on all social media at The Goon of June. It's TheGoonOfJune. I'm currently working on my new EP. It's called I'm Not Okay.
Okay, Surf.
That'll be coming soon. I'll say it. Exclusive. My first single entitled Twin is coming. Are we gonna say no, we're not gonna say the exact date. It's coming in the summer. It's coming in the summer.
That is not the serious exclusive.
Yes.
What?
Yes, my first single from my EP, I'm Not Okay, called Twin, coming this summer.
Yeah.
Really excited. Yeah.
Y'all go stream Maintain. I should be telling y'all to stream the new song, but go stream Maintain too.
It's not out yet, so go stream Maintain until then. In fact, go stream Maintain and then be like, I love this song so much. I'm gonna listen to this whole EP,
project,
and then listen to the whole EP a lot, like
as you should. Like, please do that.
Yeah.
Y'all, thanks for listening. If you like the show, make sure you give it a thumbs up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere you get podcasts, and rate us 5 stars, and leave a review, and leave a comment on YouTube, and send it to a friend who needs like a nice little like recap, deep dive, documentary style of Rap Beef. If you're ever interested in
Rap
it.
Beef for Dummies, you know.
That's probably the name of this episode. Not even fucking around.
Right,
Rap Beef for Dummies. Y'all, be blessed. When it comes to like, I don't know. I just want you all to remember when it comes to Rap Beef, when it comes to Drake being messy as hell, when it comes to just these lyrical shots back and forth, I just want y'all to know at the end of the day, it's not that serious. All right, everybody. We're